All right, everyone, good morning. So we're going to go over trades from today. It's going to be a fairly straightforward recap. I only traded one stock. I'm currently watching HUDI. I didn't trade HUDI. It's another one of these Chinese stocks that is, well, currently down 57%. It's kind of unreal. It's a huge drop. And we saw this yesterday on PETZ. PETZ, I guess a Chinese company as well, dropped from $4 to 76 cents. Holy smokes. So there's, definitely something to be aware of there. HUDI, if you were going to look for a dip or a bounce, the spot for me is always as soon as it starts to go green. 7 halts down, and then look right here. 7 halts down, there wasn't a hint of green, not even for 1 second. And then right there, that was the long. Right as it popped over that level of 9.12. The thing is, it went right up to 11 and halted. Then it went right up to 12 on the resumption, dropped down to 10, almost halted back down, then came back up to 12, almost halted back up, then almost halted back down again. Holy smokes, this thing was crazy. So not probably a good one for trader rehab. Trader rehab this morning focused on TSRI. So before we start the recap, as always, I want to remind traders tuning in on YouTube that trading is risky. Most beginner traders do lose money, so make sure you approach trading with caution. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. My results are not typical. All right, so with that said, why did I focus on TSRI today? This to me was the most obvious stock in the entire market because it was our second leading gapper. The float, 1.4 million shares, price about $11.50 right now. Pre-market, I sat down as it was squeezing up right here. This was at about 8:10, 10 past 8. And I sat down, and some of you guys were already saying, hey, I just hit my daily goal. I just hit my daily goal on TSRI. And I was like, wow, good for you guys. You saw that setup. I hadn't even sat down, started trading yet, but some people had already taken that trade. And I think the levels they would have been probably watching on this, of course, you at the time had a pre-market high up here around, let's see, 1224. So you had 1224 right here. It then pulled back, and as it broke through this pivot, it broke really back over, it was kind of like, it's like it was back over. Anyone in the chat want to tell me where they got in if they were in here? It looks like 1079 and then 1109. So then it starts to squeeze up there, hits a high of 1155, then does a micro pullback right here, goes up to 1210. So Jessica said she got 1072. Joe says he was in at 1079. Nice. Good. Very good. Very good. And then you got that nice squeeze up to 1210. Micro pullback there and a pop up to 1240. 1246. It pulled back, it dropped, and then it curls right here. My first entry on this. So remember, the first trade of the day, looking for what I would consider to be a high probability setup. Got in at about 1245 for the break through 1250. Looking for the break of the $0.50. That's a $0.50 whole dollar setup. And we got that nice move up to 1280. So 30 cents on that first trade. Right there, 30 cents on the first trade. Then you got a micro pullback and then a pop up to 1297. So that was good. That was a good first trade. Remember right now so for Warrior Pro students, of course, you already know this, but for those tuning in on YouTube, I've been trying to focus these first weeks of the new year on our students who are taking part in the Trader Rehab program. So we taught Trader Rehab on New Year's Eve. It was a 6-hour-long class. It was phenomenal. Really had a great time teaching it. Thank you guys who were all there and who stayed to the end. Those classes were recorded. They're now archived in the learning portal, so you guys can go in there and you guys can of course see the that class. And the plan was to start 2022 with Trader Rehab, focusing on one trade a day. right? Get green, shut it down. If your first trade's red, it is what it is. And so at the end of last week, I asked people how they were doing, and it seemed like a good number of people were doing well. We had some good response, good feedback. Green on 3 out of the 4 days, or 4 out of the 5 trades, or whatever it was. Not everyone traded every single day, of course. So that was good to see. Of course, there were still some that were struggling, which is probably the typical experience of most traders. But I was happy to see that people, for the most part, were doing a good job having the discipline to follow the rules of 1 trade a day, which is trader rehab. So this morning, as I sat down, I was looking, of course, for that one good trade, looking for that one good quality setup, and TSRI, leading gapper. This is the one that it made the most sense for me to be focusing on. So that first trade was right here for the break at 1250. And that was a green trade, one and done. All right, so that was my first trade. Then I got back in on a pullback to the 20 moving average right in this area. And I added, as it pulled back again to the 20. Guys! My apologies. Of course, sounds like someone is burning some toast. I'm gonna try to take a deep breath and proceed. Okay, so consolidation through here. Put out my profit target. We got a nice pop here up to 1288. My profit target got filled. It dropped back down. It pulls back, comes back up to 1246, pulls back, comes back up again. And this right in here, I got a trade on this pullback right here for the break of 1272. And we got a move up to 1357, which was really pretty solid. And then right at the open, squeezed up to, it says a high of 1447. I saw 14. I didn't see 1447. So in any case, ended up doing well on it. It was not the absolute easiest. We did have a high red candle rejection right here. There was another obvious red candle at the open, and then we started to pull back here. I did take one dip trade off of VWAP, the orange dotted line. That was okay. Only made a couple $100 on it, went small. So didn't do super well on that one, but you know, in any case, got green, and I'm happy with that. So this was sort of actually, I don't think I had a single red trade today, although I did have a trade where I gave back a little bit of profit off the top. I sold half for profit and the rest for a small loss, but it was still net profitable on that trade. So in any case, I've got dogs barking, and I'm not really able to focus super well here, and it doesn't really matter because that was my last trade anyway. So TSRI, it's the only stock I traded today, $16,400, slow and steady. We'll be back at it tomorrow, trying to find that one good trade, one and done, looking for one good trade, and then that's, you know, that's the way to start. So one and done, and then from there, for trader rehab folks, you should be done trading the simulator for the rest of the day. For those actively trading, we'll keep trading and keep looking for opportunities. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Sorry for the barking. Sorry for the fire alarm. I will see you first thing tomorrow morning.